Hello, Stephen. Thank you for being with us today. So indeed, financial markets, they have been quite tough with the technology sector over the past few months. Uh, Given the context, why do you remain so bullish the European deep tech?
Yes, there's been recent noise, um, be it tariffs, interest rates, geopolitics, you name it. And that has affected, of course, also the listed tech stocks. But what we're doing at Verve Ventures really is to focus on the strategic long game, and we're investing in, let's say, the critical technological building blocks that we need to secure in Europe in order to ensure future growth and resilience. A good example, perhaps, is resources and energy. In Europe, we've learned the hard way what it means to depend a lot on imports of fossil fuels. That's very risky. Well, we think deep tech is the answer to this. Take one of our Swiss portfolio companies that basically turns sunlight into sustainable aviation fuel. There's another Italian company that builds or develops offshore pumped hydro solutions for long duration energy storage, ensuring that we still have electricity when we don't have sun and sunshine and wind. And we see similar foundational work in deep tech areas such as photonic computing, edge computing, to power the new generation of electronics, and also to address the major bottleneck of AI today, which is also on the hardware side. And of course, in health and biology, where we talk about gene and cell therapies and also biologics.
Could you detail a bit the way you define this deep tech segment? What is it made of?
Sure. So we define deep tech by referring to companies that are founded on fundamental scientific breakthroughs, or let's say at least significant engineering achievements. Unlike, let's say, shallow tech, classical software enabled, let's say, business model innovation, quite often these companies also tackle more complex problems, more foundational problems that, if they're solved, can really transform markets and industries. I just give you one concrete example from the field of computing, where we're currently moving from electrons to photons. What that means is when you take light instead of electrical current to perform some very fundamental mathematical computations, such as multiplications of matrices. That's actually an operation very important when you train LLMs, any type of AI model. Then you're getting 10 times more the speed and the performance, and you save even up to 100 times energy when you run on this type of hardware compared to today's GPUs.
A question about timing. Why should investors turn to private markets these days to access this breakthrough, when, given the bumpy skies we are going through right now, I would understand that they might prefer to the comfort and the liquidity of public markets.
Many prefer that comfort. Well, the simple answer is, there's two reasons: performance and diversification. The private market deep tech field offers tremendous return potential. That's also increasingly recognized by savvy investors such as Larry Fink from BlackRock, who recently pointed out that we're moving away from the classical 60-40 portfolio model to a world where we have like a 50-30-20 allocation, with 20% being in private equity and private markets. Why? Because first of all, almost half of the value creation of our economy, so 50% of GDPs, are in that segment, and that's growing. And even more importantly, that's really where the growth is. And to take this example of deep tech, if you are backing a breakthrough such as a new battery chemistry, or let's say a new cell therapy, then you're kind of entering at the ground floor of a company that later on will become hopefully an industry-defining company. Another good example of a company from Europe that has become a multi-billion company is BioNTech in Germany, that has pioneered mRNA vaccines that basically went within a short time from a lab project to a 20 billion euro listed company. So these are the massive opportunities that we see. In diversification, since that I mentioned that as well. That's also clear if you private deep tech doesn't correlate with the latest meme stocks or the latest hypes. This is really about fundamental science. So if you just add 10% of PE and venture capital to your portfolio, you can certainly cut some of the ups and downs and also improve your returns.
Why do you believe that Europe is the place to be for deep tech as opposed to the US, which are still widely seen, perceived as the number one hub for tech and innovation?
First of all, I have a strong conviction about Europe being in a leading position for deep tech. We have excellent scientific talent. We have a long engineering legacy. Excellent, top-notch universities. Europe has given us graphene. It has given us the discovery of the Higgs boson. It has given us the mRNA vaccines that I've talked about. That's one thing. But the other thing, and that usually comes up when people criticize me on that point, was the absence or the certain relative absence of capital here in Europe. But that has also changed. If you look at, for example, where some of a big chunk of the money being invested in deep tech comes from, then guess what? 40% is already coming from government funds or the EU in the form of non-dilutive grants. So the politicians really have woken up, and I think this kind of tailwind is here to stay. And that's why I think to finish it off, I still think you need to pick your topics wisely in Europe, because in some fields we're very competitive, be it energy, be it biology, and then there are others where we are less, perhaps on the software side of AI and the building of new models.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you for sharing your views with us today. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.